The world is filled with shady characters. Con artists and disreputable companies will do whatever it takes to get your money.
We're calling about your vehicle's manufacturer's warranty. We sent you several notices in the mail that you have yet to extend your warranty past the factory cutoff. And this is a courtesy call to renew your warranty before we close the file.
They'll lie and cheat to steal your life savings.
We have seen a recent order number, AMZ0987, of iPhone 11 Pro on your account, which is billed on your card attached to your Amazon account. The amount charged in $1,499.
Fraud losses reported to the Federal Trade Commission hit a record $12.5 billion in 2024. That's up 25% from the year before. And because many incidents go unreported, the true figure is probably much, much higher.
Shelley in a Medicare Enrollment Center on a recorded line. And I see here in the past you inquired about your Medicare supplement coverage.
Not only are fraud losses skyrocketing, but the number of people who report being scammed is also up.
Hi, this is Mark from the Business Lending Division. You were referred to us a while ago, and I've been reviewing your file. It looks like you're still in good standing for up to $180,000 in line of credit for your business. We just need to confirm a couple of quick things.
Investment scams, romance scams, crypto scams, and imposter scams are driving much of the increase.
We are calling you from the Department of Social Security Administration. The reason you received this phone call from our department is to inform you that there's a legal enforcement action filed on your Social Security number for fraudulent activities.
All the calls you just heard are bogus, created by scammers. I'm Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man, a contributing editor at Checkbook.org.
Welcome to Consumerpedia at Checkbook.org. We're the nonprofit that helps consumers select services, avoid trouble, and save money. Because we don't accept any advertising or take money from any business we recommend, you can rely on Checkbook.org to be completely independent and objective. Now, here's the host of Consumerpedia, America's consumer expert, the Consumer Man, Herb Weisbaum.
In this episode, we'll share ways to fight back, 10 things you can do to reduce your chances of falling prey to a fraudster. And we have two expert fraud fighters taking part in this discussion. Amy Nofziger is Senior Director of Fraud Victim Support at the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Amy joins us from Denver.
Hi, Herb. Thanks for having me.
And John Breyault, a Vice President at the National Consumers League and Director of their fraud.org website. John's coming to us from the nation's capital.
Hey, Herb. Thanks for having me on.
So before we get to the tips, let's start with the problem. Fraud is big business. While there still are mom-and-pop crooks, we're up against international crime organizations that can use the internet to reach out from anywhere in the world. Amy, tell us more about this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And not only can they reach out anywhere in the world, they can reach out to us wherever we are in the world because of the device we carry in our pockets that we call a phone, but is really a mini computer. And that's definitely something I've seen change in the last 24 years of me working in fraud, is how accessible we are to these criminals.
And they're really good at what they do.
Well, they are really good at what they do. This is their full-time job. They have these organized crime rings set up like businesses. They have goals, they have bosses, they have training, and their job is to steal your hard-earned money.
And now there's AI, the most powerful tool cybercriminals have ever had to make their cons even more polished and personal. It's getting really hard to tell the fake from the real. John?
That's right. AI has really created a revolution in scams. Scammers can make their phishing emails look like they've been written by somebody who's spoken English their entire life. They can make videos that look indistinguishable from someone you know and trust. They can create websites in a minute or two that look just like your bank's. And they can even make phishing emails that look like they are super personalized to just you, knowing tons of things about you, all designed to get you to respond or click on a link and engage. So AI is really the next frontier when it comes to scams, and I'm not sure that we're ready for it yet. So we can't just depend on consumers to spot and avoid scams that look indistinguishable from the real thing, that are almost irresistible to even people who think they're too smart for these scams. We really need the AI companies, the social media platforms, the telecom companies, the banks, law enforcement. Everyone who has a role to play in protecting consumers needs to step up their game because consumers just can't be on the front lines of defending themselves anymore.
By the way, I've included a link in the show notes to a video that was entirely created by AI. It's a public service announcement. All the people, all the locations you will see are fake, but they look absolutely real. You might want to check it out to see what you're up against. Okay, so how do we defend ourselves? I put together a list of 10 tips to reduce your chances of becoming a victim of fraud. My advice is based on 45 years of consumer consumer reporting, talking to thousands of people about how they were scammed, and learning from fraud fighters like John and Amy. And it's by no means a definitive list, but it's certainly a good place to start. First tip is be skeptical. You need to question everything. Telemarketing calls, mail solicitations, email offers, unknown websites, social media posts, and all advertisements. Don't take things at face value. Amy, tell us more about that.
Absolutely. Wherever you are online, just assume that the criminal is already there waiting for you. And again, that's not to scare you, that's to empower you to be skeptical. We used to say trust and verify. No, absolutely not. Don't even trust first. Verify, and then maybe trust. And another thing, trust your gut. I have had so many people tell me, I had a feeling something was wrong, but I just didn't listen to my gut.
And they can fake testimonials and seals of approval and all that kind, and even reviews and ratings and everything.
Everything can be fake. Don't trust what you see. Trust your gut. Just remember, are they asking you for personal information or money? Is this opportunity coming out of the blue with urgency? Are they trying to get you emotional with either fear or excitement? Are they telling you to lie or keep it a secret? If any of these things have any of those qualities, it's 100% a scam, and run away.
John, with most ripoffs and scams, the warning signs are there, but we need to be looking for them.
That's right. I think that if you look across many different types of scams, the warning signs that consumers can use to help reduce their risk are remarkably similar. As Amy was just saying, watch out for things like urgency, meaning if you don't act right now, you're going to miss out on a prize or something great happening. Or urgency the other way, the cops are on their way. If you don't send us money right now, they're going to be knocking on your door. So watch out for any pitch that tries to get you to act right now before we have time to think. Watch out for scams that try and isolate you. Scammers know that if you talk to friends, loved ones, colleagues, or take your time to even do a quick Google search, chances are you'll probably recognize that this is a scam. And so they try and get you into a heightened state of emotion so that you're acting without actually talking to other people. And in many cases, they actively tell you not to talk to other people or else something terrible might happen.
Tip number 2 is guard your private information. Criminals can really do a lot of bad things to you if they get your personal information, such as bank account or a social security number.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the best things to do today is for everyone to pull out your wallet or your purse and do an audit of it, right? Pull everything out of your wallet or your purse that you do not need on a daily basis, right? Your social security card should not be in there. Even consider pulling out your Medicare card. A lot of people have said, well, it's not my social security number on my Medicare card anymore. I don't have to protect it. No, you absolutely do. Medicare fraud is huge. Criminals are looking for that information. Additionally, guard your private information when people are calling you or texting you. Nobody needs that information. You can always hang up, call who they say they're back, and verify if that information is really needed. And another great step, I think, is to freeze your credit, right? If a criminal gets a hold of your social security number and they can try to open up credit in your name, whether that's credit cards or loans, if you have a freeze on that will protect yourself from anyone opening up credit. You can't even then open up new credit in your name without thawing it. I recommend credit freezes.
John, I always tell people that the organizations that need your personal information, like Social Security or Medicare or the bank, already have your personal information. You might have to identify yourself if you call them on the phone, but they won't ask for it out of the blue, and they'll never ask for your password or PIN.
That's right. Any legitimate financial services company like your bank or credit card company or a government agency, they don't call you or text you or email you asking for that kind of personal information. But, I think one thing that's important to recognize too is what is personal information that's useful to scammers is changing all the time. So Amy talked about great things like protect your social security number, protect your bank account number and your Medicare number, but things that we might think are just not that important. Hey, I'm going on vacation and putting that onto your social media page. That's valuable information to a scammer. They know, hey, John's going to be out of town for a while. He might not have access to all of his files. I can target him with a certain kind of travel scam, or I can get in touch with people who know that John is traveling and say, hey, John was going to France. He's stuck. He needs your help. So be really careful about what you're putting on social media, your travel plans, sort of if you've changed jobs, even who you work for. That's all information information that scammers use to build very detailed profiles about you. And with AI, it's even easier than ever for these scammers to build these detailed profiles based on information that we put out there every day without even thinking about it.
Really, really good advice. John, we'll let you tackle number 3. Don't trust caller ID. It can be easily spoofed to display any name and any number the caller wants to be used as part of the scam.
Yeah, unfortunately, caller ID is not a trustworthy way anymore to know who's actually calling you. As you mentioned, scammers, it's trivial for them to spoof caller ID, make it look like somebody who you should definitely pick up right away, your bank or a government agency or the police or even a loved one. They're very easy for them to do that. So just because something shows up in your caller ID that looks like it's somebody you know, don't necessarily trust that.
Amy, what do you do if the phone rings and it's a number you're not familiar with? Just let the call go to voicemail?
Let the call absolutely go to voicemail. And if they leave a message, you can decide what you want to do with it. And another great tip with your phone, if you have a smartphone, there's already some technology built into it. So you can go into your phone settings and you can have any unknown number go directly to voicemail. And what that means is that if they're not in your contacts list, like your friend, your family, or doctor's office, and they call you, you won't even hear the phone ring. It'll go straight to your voicemail. And then again, you are in control and you can decide if you want to return that phone call.
And one more suggestion, if you answer the phone and the call seems suspicious, hang up. The longer a con artist can engage you on the phone, the more likely you are to do what they want. More tips straight ahead, including contest scams and the free trial offer fraud. I'm Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man, and this is Consumerpedia, powered by Checkbook.org.
At Checkbook.org, we have the answers to your consumer questions 24/7. That's Checkbook.org. We're a unique nonprofit that can help you with select local service providers, avoid trouble, and save money. Because we don't accept any advertising or take money from any business we recommend, you can rely on Checkbook to be completely independent and objective. Our advice is always free. Ratings of local services are available with a subscription. If you live in one of these 7 metro areas and haven't joined Checkbook yet, check us out. Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia, Seattle, San Francisco, Minneapolis-St. Paul, and Washington, D.C. Get your free 30-day subscription by going to checkbook.org/Consumerpedia.
We're sharing 10 tips to fight fraud with you this time, and we pick it back up with number 4. Don't pay to enter a contest or claim a prize. By the way, it's illegal to require a payment or prize to enter a sweepstakes. John, tell us more about this.
So a tried and trusted tactic that scammers have used for years has been these free prizes where you get something for nothing. Although what they're actually trying to do is get you to pay up front in this mythical search for a prize that never exists. So we saw this over the years with scammers impersonating people like Publishers Clearinghouse, for example. And the pitch was always remarkably similar. It says, hey, congratulations, you've won this big prize. We just need you to pay upfront a couple $100 for fees or taxes or some other reason in order to claim your prize. And that's the red flag that consumers should be on the lookout for. If somebody's asking you to pay money upfront to get more money down the road, that is a scam. So hang up, delete the email, delete the text message, and move on.
I find it interesting that with most of these prize scams, you didn't even enter the contest. You can't win a contest you didn't enter.
That's right. If you can't remember whether you've entered this contest or not, or you're just not the kind of person who enters contests on a regular basis, chances are you haven't won it. So yeah, definitely I would agree with that.
And bottom line, you don't pay anything, not a single penny, if you've truly won the prize. You won it, they deliver it to you or whatever, and you move on with your life. All right, number 5. Don't be fooled by free trial offers and money-back guarantees. Amy, I know you're up to speed on this one.
Well, we're actually getting a lot of reports on the Fraud Watch Network helpline regarding people who are signing up for these free trial offers. Whether they're seeing like an advertisement on social media, through their email, or just, a pop-up on their computer, we're hearing a lot of people who are signing up for them for like skincare products, weight loss products, vitamins. There's even some tech products out there. But this is a frustrating thing for people is they think it's free. Now, they will say, oh, I had to give my credit card information for the shipping and handling or something like that. Well, then all of a sudden they see constant charges on their credit card from these companies. And there might have been in the terms and conditions, in -2 font size, something about if you don't cancel within 2 minutes, we're going to charge you. I would recommend for everyone to be very cautious, if not just ignore them outright, of these free trial offers that you're seeing online. And if they're asking for your credit card information to receive this, I would absolutely not participate because we're hearing about these. We actually just put a warning out on social media and on our website about the influx of these free trial offers.
Yeah, once they start sending you this stuff, they've automatically enrolled you in the subscription. It keeps coming. They keep billing you, and trying to get them to stop and getting it off your credit card or stop coming out of your debit card is really, really hard to do.
It is really hard to get those stopped. We've had people just cancel their credit cards because that's kind of the only solution that they've been able to figure out.
Yeah. And I've been working with you at AARP for years covering these things. As you recall, we've actually seen cases where merely opening the package voids the money-back guarantee offer. And if you're allowed to return the stuff on these risk-free trials, you have to pay the shipping to send it back. So it's really not as good as they make it sound. It's a real confidence builder that you shouldn't fall for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the word free gets a lot of us excited, but I would actually have that word free kind of as a red flag.
And tip number 6, get it in writing. Verbal promises don't count. It's as simple as that, right, Amy?
It is as simple as that, but you have to remember, a scammer can put something in writing for you and, it still means nothing. So I think this piece of advice is really good if you're doing a transaction like with a business that you know in person, like a home repair contractor, a car sale, something like that. Because, certainly criminals can put something in writing and it means nothing. And if you ever have to go after them, you're never going to find them. So it doesn't matter if you have it on a piece of paper.
I tell people a lot when they go to a health club, they say something like, well, we're going to add a pool next year. Well, if they're going to add a pool next year, make sure it's in the contract, because what the salesperson tells you doesn't really matter. And they probably have that in the contract that says all verbal promises made are not binding. Right, John?
That's right. Most legitimate businesses know that what their salesman might say in a phone conversation or just off the cuff isn't something that's going to stand up in court. So you as a consumer need to make sure that any promises you're basing your buying decision on, or in your case, joining a gym for, are documented, because if they are unable to deliver on their promise, that's your shield when you need to go back and say, hey, I need to cancel my membership, or I want a refund for this service or product I bought. But even if you're dealing with a con artist, if they put something in writing, at least that creates a paper trail so that if you go to law enforcement, like your local police or local attorney general, that gives them something to start with.
So what's the safest way to pay? And how can you tell if it's really Medicare or the IRS calling you? We're going to tackle that straight ahead. I'm Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man, and this is Consumerpedia, powered by Checkbook.org.
Consumerpedia Fast Facts. Investment fraud and imposter scams are the top 2 scams right now. An imposter scam is when bad guys pretend to be your bank, government agency, or a trusted company such as Amazon or Apple. Victims reported losing more money to scams in which they paid the fraudsters via bank transfers or cryptocurrency than to all other payment methods combined. Email, phone calls, and text messages are the most common ways for scammers to target people.
We have 3 more fraud fighting tips to go, and here's number 7. Use a credit card for online and mail order. Don't pay with a debit card or some other means of payment. John?
Yeah, using a credit card is the safest way to pay for the vast majority of consumers. That's because your purchases are protected not only by federal law, but most banks offer zero liability for fraud. That doesn't exist if you are using other ways to pay. So, for example, if you're using your debit card, you may have the money that you paid tied up while the bank does its investigation if you need to initiate a chargeback. That's money you could use to pay bills that you won't have access to. And definitely don't pay with even less safe payment methods. So things like Venmo and Cash App and Zelle. Definitely things like cryptocurrency, ATMs, or gift cards. None of those have the protections that credit cards do. So consumers should definitely make sure to take advantage of those credit cards. It's the safest way to pay.
And Amy, some people tell me they're afraid of using a credit card for making a purchase on the phone or online, but that's just what a credit card is designed for. If there's a problem, you've got the credit card company in the middle to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. I know people like to use their debit card, and debit cards do have protections. But the thing with the debit card is if someone steals your debit card, they're literally stealing the money out of your bank account. If they steal your credit card, they're stealing the company's credit, right? You can still make purchases and live your life. But if someone steals $1,000 off your debit card, that might be all you have in your account that week, and you might have trouble paying bills. So I definitely recommend always using your credit card.
Good advice. Number 8, never respond to a demand for payment. Government agencies such as Medicare and the IRS and Social Security never initiate contact by phone, text, or email, and they never demand instant payment.
Right. Well, it's a tried and tested tactic by scammers to impersonate government agencies because they know that consumers will respond more quickly and they're worried about getting audited or going to jail or these days being deported. And so scammers latch onto that and they claim to be with the IRS or immigration or the police in text messages, emails, instant messages, all to get you to engage and to act quickly. The truth is that none of those government agencies will contact you through email or a phone call or a text message. Chances are, if there's something going on that a government agency is concerned about, you're going to hear about it through the good old-fashioned U.S. mail. So watch out and be wary of any unsolicited communication you get that's not coming in from your postman.
And with all the data breaches that have taken place recently, it's very likely that they may have, for instance, your Social Security number to make it sound like they're really calling from a government agency. Right, Amy?
Yeah, absolutely right. But as John said, stick to the absolutes of this. The federal government will absolutely never demand instant payment via phone, text, or email. And they will not threaten you with consequences if you don't pay immediately. Always remember those. So if you hear the word cryptocurrency ATM, if you hear the word gift card, payment app, anything like that from someone saying that with the government, it's 100% a scam.
And Amy, I'm sure that on the fraud line, you hear from people who have given gift cards. The IRS is supposedly called and they're paying with gift cards. The IRS does not take Sephora gift cards or Apple gift cards. It's like that's not how they do business. Stop and think. A bell alarm should go off that something's wrong here when I'm being asked to do something like that.
Well, the issue is that these criminals work with your emotions and they get you in this heightened emotional state. And so you're just so panicked and so scared that your cognitive thinking has actually just gone out of the window. But go back again to those absolutes. Is your gut feeling weird? Are your palms getting sweaty? That's the emotion that you need to listen to. Stop. Get out of that situation immediately. And then if you feel like something might be wrong, then call that government agency at the phone number that's on the website for them and check it out. But I guarantee you it was a scam.
Number 9 is be suspicious of demands to pay via crypto, payment app, gift cards, or wire transfer. We've talked about this before, but it's worth a tip unto its own because the criminals try to get you to pay in non-banking situations where they can get the money, it's instant, and it's typically irreversible. John?
That's right. Scammers want your money. They want it now, and they want it with as little risk to themselves as possible. And the best way for them to do that is through payment methods that aren't protected by law. So what we hear here at fraud.org is almost always that consumers are being asked to pay with gift cards or through peer-to-peer payment apps like Zelle or Venmo or Cash App. They're being asked to go to crypto ATMs, and there are tens of thousands of them around the country, and put cash into these ATMs in order to buy crypto to send to scammers. They're also hearing about good old-fashioned wire transfer through Western Union and MoneyGram. The thing that all of these different payment methods have in common is that they're instantaneous and the payments are almost always irreversible. Even if you find out later on that it's a fraud, chances are you're not going to get your money back. So if you're asked to be paid one of those ways, it is 100% a scam.
Amy, I just spoke to a person in Seattle recently who lost $17,000 to a scammer who got her to go to one of these crypto ATMs and put cash in, and they got the crypto on the other end, and unfortunately, she's never getting it back.
She's most likely not getting it back, right? But I definitely want people to report it to law enforcement if they had money stolen through one of these machines. One of the things I like to say is, if you ever find yourself standing in front of a machine or a place that you do not normally visit and you have cash in hand, you are most likely about to be a victim of a scam. And so it's like if you are finding yourself standing in front of these crypto ATM machines and you've never been here before, like you might not even know what a crypto ATM machine is, but you're in a new location, you're about to be a victim of a scam. If you're standing in front of a gift card carousel rack and you never buy gift cards and you have cash in hand, you're most likely about to be a victim. So try to do kind of a role playing and put yourself in that real-time situation so you can spot it and feel what it feels like, because that's how we're going to get people to stop losing money and having money stolen from them.
You can report it, but don't expect to get your money back. The bottom line is you give it to the bad guys, chances are you're never going to get it back.
Well, let's just say the bad guys stole it from you.
They did.
You didn't give it to them. They stole it from you.
They did. Absolutely. And they're not giving it back because they're bad guys.
Exactly.
Finally, tip number 10, take your time. Don't let anyone rush you into buying something or doing something. I'll let you both talk about this one. Let's start with you, Amy.
Absolutely. Just stop, right? If you ever find yourself in a situation where someone's trying to get you emotional, someone's asking you to lie, someone's asking you for personal information or money, or if this opportunity just came out of the blue, just stop, get out of it. I don't know why we have to act in such a rush. Take your time, ask a friend, get out of the situation. Because think about it too. What in real life, in your existence on this world, have you had to make such an urgent decision involving money? Not many, many times. So why is it with this we act so quickly?
John?
If you're anything like me, chances are you spend 15 minutes deciding what restaurant you're going to eat at tonight. And if somebody's asking you to send them hundreds or thousands of dollars with just a few seconds or a few minutes of thought, that's 100% a scam. If you are being asked to pay money to someone over the phone, over email, through text message, stop. Wait 5 minutes, take a breath, do a little Googling, ask a friend. There are lots of ways that people are out there who can help you avoid falling victim to these scams. The key thing is to recognize when somebody's trying to manipulate your emotions and get you to act without thinking first. That's 100% sign of a scam.
But it doesn't have to be some outrageous ask. I mean, I get calls all the time from unknown telemarketers who claim to be calling from a charity or a nonprofit group, and I have no idea whether they are really calling from that group or whether even if I gave them the money and they were with the group would get the money. And I just either hang up and say I don't give money that way or say send me information if you want. By the way, they never send the information. But it doesn't have to be an outrageous ask. It's just if you're not sure who you're dealing with, and you can't be when somebody calls you out of the blue, say no.
That's absolutely right. Say no. And I think a great way to kind of protect yourself and put you in that moment is just take a Post-it note out. Put a piece of paper by your phone that just puts a little reminder, maybe a refusal script that says, I don't give money over the phone. So when you're eating lunch and the phone rings and you're caught off guard and someone's asking you for money for their charity, go back to that refusal script, say, I don't do business over the phone. You can send me something in the mail if you'd like.
Before we go, I'd like both of you to share something you'd like listeners to know based on your years of fraud fighting. Amy, we'll start with you.
If you don't think it's going to happen to you, you're probably the next person it's going to happen to. So definitely learn the red flags of fraud. And I say this a lot, trust your gut. That is actually your body's way to give you a stop sign, a warning sign. And if you have been a victim, please report it. You can report it to us on the helpline, but please report this victimization because we have to know what's going on.
John?
Yeah, I would say that consumers who have fallen victim to scams need to stop blaming themselves. These are international organized criminal rings that are defrauding millions of consumers and stealing billions of dollars every year. Most people I talk to these days have someone they know who has fallen victim. So it's really only a matter of time until you get approached by a scammer, and just know that you're not alone. There are a lot of great resources out here from groups like mine at fraud.org, from Amy's at AARP, from you, Herb. Thank you so much for getting these messages out there. But there's plenty of people who want to support you and help you through this struggle.
You know, my tip is a little skepticism goes a long way. If you're not sure, talk to a friend or a family member. Contact your local office of the Better Business Bureau or the AARP Fraud Watch Network. And Amy, here's a good time to give that toll-free number.
877-908-3360. And it's open to anyone of any age, and you don't have to be an AARP member.
And John, if someone's been a victim of fraud, they should report it to fraud.org because you're going to share it with everybody who needs to have that information.
That's right. At fraud.org, consumers can report complaints on our secure website, and we share that information with a network of more than 200 law enforcement and consumer protection agency partners. Those partners take in those complaints, they look at them for trends, they create more consumer education, and they work with each other to hopefully put some of these scammers behind bars.
Great conversation. Thanks to both of you. John Breyault runs fraud.org.
Thanks, Herb, for having me on.
And Amy Nofziger is with the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure.
Before we go, a couple of other Consumerpedia podcasts you might want to check out. Number 88, Cyber Thieves Weaponize AI to Perfect Their Online Scams. Number 11, How to Protect Yourself from Identity Theft. And number 5, Cybercrime, a former cyber crook explains how to protect yourself. And with that, we're out of time. I hope you'll rate this episode. It's really helpful. And follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Remember, we release new episodes every other Thursday. Here's another way you can support this show. Follow us at Consumerpedia on Facebook and Instagram, at Consumerpedia.org on Blue Sky, and at My Consumerpedia on X. You can find me at consumerman.com. I'm Herb Weisbaum, always looking out for you. Until next time, be smart and shop wisely.
Consumerpedia is a public service of Checkbook.org. We're a unique nonprofit that helps you save money and make smarter choices. You can count on Checkbook to help you find the best services and avoid the worst, with local ratings that are accurate and unbiased. If you live in or around these 7 cities and haven't joined Checkbook yet, check us out. Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia, Minneapolis-St. Paul, Seattle, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. To get your free 30-day subscription, go to checkbook.org/Consumerpedia. Consumerpedia, empowering consumers to save money and make smarter choices.